So it's your first big interview?
It is. For a website to meet sound.
Cool.
Just started in August.
Cool.
So now I'm writing concert reviews, album reviews,
Awesome.
interviews.
Cool. Hope it's the first of many.
I think so as well. Alright, so yeah, welcome. Like in Europe. How is Europe treating you so far?
It's awesome. I love it. I didn't know what to expect because we've never headlined before. So it's kind of been progressively getting better too. We started with the shows in Germany. They're small, but you could tell everyone was excited to be there. And been waiting. A lot of people have been waiting for a while. You know, we haven't come back since outside. And progressively shows got better. And then Holland was awesome. Mine was great. And I'm hoping tonight's great too. So it's unexpected. It's great.
Because you're pretty respectable artist. Lots of fans, 2 full albums, and you're playing pretty big venues in America and Canada.
Yeah.
How is it to play the smaller venues again?
It's definitely obviously a challenge. I mean, but it's good. I mean, it keeps you humble and keeps you remembering how it is to go back down to only this many channels and back down to the small stages and trimming down the setup that's kind of grown over the years back to something that is kind of more rock and roll than what you were when you started. So it's good. It's good for any artist to start new somewhere because it reminds you that you got to work for it. You know?
So what do you prefer, the big stages or the small ones?
Well, I mean, in terms of a technical aspect, the big stage is always great because the sound systems are better, and you can do the full set. You can do all the little things all those little details that make the show sound great. But for the little ones, I mean, it feels like there's less pressure and it's kind of more fun, and you're right there. People are right in front of you. It's really close. Whereas, you know, in some places you're 10 feet, 20 feet away from everyone. It's a nice.
It's more personal.
Yeah, it's very like you're right there, arm to arm with everybody. And it's cool.
Nice. Was it always your dream job, or was there something else you preferred to do when you were little?
It was probably my dream job. I think it was always what I thought I would do. And I think in the back of my mind I knew it was going to happen, but the other side of your mind was kind of like, oh, that's never going to happen. But somehow it happened. And
so you just go for your dreams and
basically
succeed.
Yeah, I think that everyone, if they go for their dreams, then they'll get it.
Nice. What are the things you get your inspiration from to write songs? You just decide, now I'm going to sit down and write songs, or you just, it happens?
Sometimes it is that. Sometimes you sit down and you say, okay, we've got to write a song. And you think about, over the course of every day, I'm always collecting ideas and collecting lyrics. I have this big file in my BlackBerry of words and things that can inspire you when you have that time again to sit down and put something together. Because it is kind of hard on the road. When you're touring, try to get into the zone and write something. Every now and then, something will come to you in, an hour, like a Cactus in the Valley. I just sat out an acoustic and it came out. And those are generally in the times that you really need it. So you really just kind of want to be alone with your guitar and something happens to come out and it happens to be a great thing. And with songs like Hello, where they're a bit heavier and a bit more production driven, those are harder to write when you're just kind of sitting there with acoustic. So you have to kind of be in a studio and ready to sit down and write a song, and then of all the ideas that have floated around in your mind, then you apply those to the song and it becomes something meaningful.
So like Where the Fence is Low, it's based on a dream you had. What was the dream about?
I always had this dream for probably about a year. It was very much. Have you seen The Princess Bride?
I think I have, but in a far away distance.
Yeah, it's like there's this part where they're on the cliffs of Moher in Ireland, and there are these cliffs that go right down to the ocean, and I was always very terrified of them. In the movie, they called them the Cliffs of Insanity, but it's kind of a comedy. It's funny, and in my dream, I don't know. It was very vivid, and I was there, and the way the sky looked, and everything was, and it was scary, but it was, for some reason I enjoyed it. It was a safe place to be, and I always remember waking up thinking about it. And so I decided to write about the imagery in the dream, and I didn't really know what it meant. And then the dream stopped happening, and then as I was starting to write, I sat down at my home studio and just kind of put together a verse chorus. And it was late one night, and then I realized I think this is about the place I'm making a new record. Never had the dream again after that, but it was capturing the song. And then I brought the song into the studio a few days later and said, like, let's do something with this. And then we ended up making a full song out of it. But I think it was about the place of making the record where it's like a bit intimidating and scary, but it's still where you want to be and where you should be.
So do you believe in meanings behind dreams?
Yeah, absolutely I do. I mean, I think sometimes they're baloney, but I think sometimes it's God trying to tell you something.
Yeah, I think that as well. Is there a song you wish you had written instead of someone else?
Yeah, there's lots of them actually. One is Don't Dream It's Over My Crowded House. That is such and Boys of Summer. Classic. Actually, Atari's covered it too. Later yet.
You do give a lot about your fans, I can assure that. And you're very active on websites like Twitter, and if possible, you can always come out to say hi to your fans. How important are the fans to you?
It's so important. It's the reason that you have your career, and I think especially in this in the industry in this time, where people can take music so easily and throw it out if they want, and it's not going to cost them anything. Really, it's not tangible. The value of the music is reduced, and you have to find other ways to remind people what it's worth, and that means finding other ways to fill those gaps, like showing who you are, where the songs come from, and talking to you in times like this, and making music videos, putting up art, like that all puts value back into the music and reminds the listeners to understand the heart that comes from it. And that's and it's fun for me.
Yeah.
I don't have to feel like I have to be somebody else or be all cool or anything, so I'm not.
Yeah, and it's fun for the fans.
Yeah, it makes an experience and something to take home. And I always remember the shows I went to growing up. You know, if you had a chance to see the person or talk to them or whatever, it was that much more of a memory. So it's nice to make memories.
It just makes it worth to be a fan of you. If you you get a lot back as a fan. So
yeah, exactly. Cool.
Is there something secret you always have with you on tour or on stage?
Well, on stage I always have about 5 picks in my pocket, even if I won't use them all. That's something I always feel. If I go on stage without more than one pick, I always feel really weird. I carry around all kinds of weird stuff actually. Like I always carry around a USB mouse just in case I need to use my mouse, and hard drives in case I need to store anything. And these are all things that take up a lot of space and are really heavy, but I still carry them around for some reason. So it's good to have all your technology with you.
Yeah, you never know when you get it, so to go back to the fans, you probably get tons of gifts and letters. Do you have a special place where you keep it all, or?
Well, what I keep mostly is letters because they take up less space. And the art I generally try to put on my fridge and rotate it out. So it's kind of weird, people will come into my house and there's like pictures of me on my fridge and it's like, but it's cool because, exactly, because they're drawings and I think they're really neat. I've never been one to hang pictures of myself around my house, and I like that kind of person, but it's cool because like, it was a gift and it's nice. It's a big blessing to have these kind of things, and I have a tinkle trunk, I call it, at home. My parents have that I put all the meaningful things.
Nice. What's your favorite song to play live?
I don't know. There's a lot of fun ones. Right now, what's really fun for me is Flux and Flow, and we do a Blondie cover, and it's nice to channel Debbie Harry and be someone else. That one's fun.
It's really nice to hear live.
Yeah.
It suits you.
Thank you.
Reminds
me to be a woman.
Yeah, true. Do you often go to concerts yourself?
I do. Nowadays, I only go to the ones I really, really care about. Like, I recently went to see Refuse because I'm a big fan of Refuse. But if there's just like arbitrary small shows, I generally just don't go because I do it every night for a living. So sometimes when you're actually having a night down, that's not really the thing you want to do. But I go see ghost shows and the bands that mean a lot to me. And sometimes if we're playing a festival with other people that I want to check out, then it's easy for me not just to check out to go screw life.
You have a lot of tattoos. What was your first one, and what is the story behind it?
My first one was a set of sparrows right on the lower stomach, and it's kind of a fairly common tattoo to get the old school sparrows, and that's what I kind of liked about it for a first tattoo. So I drew the sparrows and brought them in, and I always intended to get them filled in, but I still haven't, because the spot's actually quite painful. But I went in, and I was underage at the time, and I just moved away from home. I was 18, and I went to this hole-in-the-wall place, and the guy was like, could barely speak English, and could barely tattoo.
Oh.
And put the tattoos on me. And to me it symbolized, I loved about the sparrows that no matter how far, some sparrows travel all the way around the world, but always come back and breed again. So they always know where they were born. And apparently a sparrow will find one meaningful life. So I like the loyalty and that aspect of it meant a lot to me because I just moved away and I was very missing home. Yeah, that was what I got.
Yeah, nice meeting.
Yeah.
So what did your parents say about it?
My mom was like, oh, didn't care after a while. So after that, I just started getting more tattoos and then showing them after they were done, and they were like, oh, and now they just don't care.
Yeah.
But they did say I wasn't allowed to get tattoos under their roof, so when I moved away, I got it. And I remember coming home after getting it for the first time and looking in the mirror and they were crooked and being horrified. And it doesn't matter, it's not a big deal. Tattoos are sometimes imperfect, and that's what makes them special.
Yeah.
But one of my first memories of being just horrified that they were crooked.
Some quick, short questions
Okay.
to end. If you could pick one superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation.
It would be easy for
Easy
touring.
for touring.
Yeah.
Way easy. Costs a lot less.
If you have those fans, come to Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm here. Who wants to take a picture? Okay, I'm gone.
Yeah. That's one. If you could pick another century to live in, what would it be?
This one. This is the best century. It's the cusp of innovation, like internet. And I think in 100 years it'll be worse. I think it's gonna be terrible in 100 years. And 100 years ago, it was just I would need technology. So I think I'm in the right place. I'm in the right century.
Right spot, right
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
What's a funny tour memory you will never forget?
Oh man, these are always so hard to remember because the moments just kind of fly by all the time. There's always little things. I mean, Aaron leaving his laptop up front of a hotel and we're half an hour away, and he left it on the street and we have to go back.
Street?
Yeah, out in front of the hotel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty random.
Most of the things involve Aaron. Yeah, it's just little things happen along the way that are just funny and it's hard to really recall. Nothing really major has happened that's been bad. I mean, I remember. Well, here's one. Adam was standing on top of our trailer once for some reason, and somebody drove away and he fell off the trailer and broke his wrist, and we still did the show that night. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
We still kind of make fun of him to this day.
Hey.
He's standing on a trailer and then falls off.
Oh.
It's super funny.
Okay, what's your favorite drink?
I think for alcoholic drinks is like White and Vanilla. It's like a really cheesy sweet wine, but I like it. And coffee, probably. Iced coffee. I don't like hot coffee, I like iced coffee.
Favorite food?
Cheese.
Favorite color?
Probably bad to say black, but that's what I mostly wear. Probably dark yellow.
Dark yellow.
Yeah.
Special.
Yeah. Like a dark gold.
Yeah. Favorite flower?
A sunflower. Also yellow.
Yeah. Not that dark.
And they're big.
Yeah.
And they grow tall, about 25 feet tall.
I used to have them in my garden.
They're so big, and they're monster flowers.
Yeah.
And then you can eat them later.
Yeah, that was the fun part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Favorite candy? Except for sunflower.
Yeah, that one doesn't count. Probably like sour gummies. Yeah, the best.
Favorite place in the world?
That one's hard because there's so many great places, but it depends who you're there with. Because I've been back to some of the greatest places in the house. So great people.
It's true.
I think right now because of my family, Vancouver is beautiful, and someday I'll probably end up moving there.
Nice. And your favorite book?
Dracula.
Do you read a lot of books?
I don't read books as much as I would like to read books, probably. The fact is they're a bulk to carry around now. You can put them on your Kindle or your iPad, and that's kind of what I do. But when you have video games, it's so hard to read books. So I'm trying. I'm trying to read more books.
So your favorite
Graphic novels. I'll read graphic novels.
What's your favorite game? World of Warcraft?
Ever? Yeah. Well, right now I'm back into World of Warcraft because the new expansion just came out. Yeah. But as we speak, I'm leveling my panda right now.
Oh.
But other than that, Skyrim. I had such a good time playing through Skyrim.
Right. So when are you coming back to Europe?
I don't know. Hopefully soon. It'll probably be next year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Alright, so to end this interview, do you have some wise words for your fans out there?
I love you all. I actually had a dream about White Army last night. Yeah, and in my dream, so keep that in mind, I dream about the fans. In my dream, I was confronted by a bunch of fans saying that I didn't spend enough time with them. So I feel like I was neglecting those in the back of my mind. So and then what had happened in my dream is there was one night that we were all supposed to get together and I didn't go. And they were all kind of messing around and then someone got in a car accident. And so they were crying, like one of them was crying and kept blaming me about it and I had to make it up to them. So I decided to start a charity and ever since I've started touring, I've kept every single band, like show laminate I've had, or wristband or anything like that, or passive, and I gave all of those, I unpacked all of them and gave it to them to sell for charity.
Wow.
That was my weird dream. So wise words at the end of the thing, none of you go unnoticed, and I would never neglect you.
Alright, thank you very much.
Of course.
It was a pleasure to meet
It
you.
was fun. It was fun chatting.
Alright.
You want a bun?
Yeah, why not?
Get a bun.
Alright, we will.
Awesome.
Thank you.